High up in the Pindus Mountains, Tzoumerka National Park in central Greece feels secluded and untamed. A fortress of nature surrounded by rugged peaks. To get here, you will need to brave narrow, twisting mountain roads that curl up countless switchbacks. Progress is slow over rough, washed out, badly damaged and overgrown stretches of road that test your patience, driving skills, and sense of direction. But of course, that's all part of the adventure, as well as this region's special appeal. In this episode, we'll show you a side of Greece few travelers ever see. From the barren mountain peaks along the country's highest paved summit road, down to the lush, forested valley with its tranquil river and waterfalls, all the way to one of Greece's most remarkable monasteries, built into the side of a steep, remote cliff. Regardless what direction you're traveling from, reaching Tzoumerka National Park takes time. If you're driving in from the west, be ready for the Tzoumerka Pass, a stretch of road packed with steep, winding hairpin turns. We approached from the east and ended up on a narrow, scenic road that seemed to endlessly snake its way through forested valleys. Outside of the few small villages along the way, it felt a bit like we were driving the road to nowhere. We barely saw anyone else. The road seemed unusually silent, almost forgotten. As we crossed into the next valley, we realized why. Without knowing it, we had ended up in a region that had been devastated by a powerful storm in September 2023. Heavy rainfall caused the small river to flood, tearing away a long stretch of the road. Although the road is still in rough shape, it has been cleared of debris and is passable again. Even so, it's a dangerous drive. So we were happy to finally leave the valley behind, enter Tzoumerka National Park, and head up the road towards Mparos Pass. The Mparos Summit Road was only paved a few years ago, in 2013, but has already fallen into disrepair in some sections. In winter, snow and ice make the road impassable, so it's only safe to navigate during the warmer, snow-free months of the year, roughly between late May and the middle of October. After a long, slow drive, we finally made it to the summit. This is an extremely remote part of northern Greece that we're in, the Tzoumerka mountain range in Tzoumerka National Park. The road here has been challenging to say the least. It was actually quite scary driving up here, but the nature is stunning and we've made it to the very top of the Mparos Pass right here, just shy of 2,000 meters above sea level. From up here, the panorama stretches across the mountains, all the way to Mount Kakarditsa, the highest peak in the range at 2,429 meters, and down into the wild valleys in the heart of the national park where we're heading next. Driving through this landscape, surrounded by barren mountaintops, it's hard not to feel small. Apart from the road, there were barely any signs of civilization. It was just nature, raw and untouched. Further down the valley, it felt as though we'd crossed from a harsh, rugged world into something gentler, a landscape of colorful wildflowers, trees, and shrubs, before the road finally dipped into a lush, green forest. And there it was, the access point to the trail to Kouiassa Waterfalls. After hours on the road, this was exactly where we'd been hoping to stop and take a much-needed break. From the road, it's an easy 15-minute walk to the waterfalls. Walking along the trail, the murmur of the water was our constant companion, growing clearer and stronger the closer we got, until it seemed to fill the whole forest.
The Kouiassa Waterfalls are the perfect place to cool off. And because this is in such a remote part of the national park, there are hardly any people around. So it's great to enjoy in peace and quiet.
Over the centuries, the Kouiassa River has carved a deep gorge through the Tzoumerka Mountains. It's especially full in spring, when the mountain snow begins to melt. We followed the trail across the bridge and through flower-filled meadows until we reached the Kouiassa watermill. These days, it houses a cafe, but was closed on the day we visited. Right next to the watermill, we found a great spot to sit back and relax by the river. Even though the water was too cold for a swim, it was ideal for cooling off. We felt like we were lost in nature's masterpiece. Mossy boulders, emerald water, and dense forest all around. And in the middle of it all, the largest of the Kouiassa Waterfalls. Then it was time to get back to the car and continue our drive through this amazing landscape. Across a narrow iron bridge spanning the Kouiassa River, towards our final stop for the day, the holy monastery of Kipina, which is open to visitors between 9:30 a.m. and 5:30 p.m. Entry is free of charge. From the entrance gate, we followed the short path uphill, past beautifully kept rose bushes and the most adorable furry guards, kittens and all. Then we saw it up ahead of us, high above the road, seamlessly fitted into the rock around it.
One of the other attractions in the national park is Kipina's Monastery, which was built into this cliff face that you can see behind me.
The origins of Kipina Monastery date back to the early 13th century. It was built as a hidden fortress, a hideout secure from robbers. During times of occupation, the monastery also served as a secret school and a place of refuge for locals. The only access point into the monastery is a little wooden bridge, which the monks used to pull up during times of danger. The main church, or Catholicon, is carved right into the rock itself, with a beautifully painted interior and a dome sculpted straight from the stone. After its prime in the 18th century, Kipina Monastery went into decline. By the early 20th century, it stood abandoned. During the decades of neglect that followed, the monastery sadly suffered vandalism, and some historical icons were stolen. Thanks to recent efforts, the monastery has since been renovated to carry the spirit of its past into the future. The monastery was built into a cave that extends 240 meters into the rock. Only the cave entrance is accessible, where the monks once used to prepare their meals. Visitors can squeeze through a narrow passageway between the rock and the monastery's back wall to reach the monks' old living quarters. A place still echoing with memories from the past. Alone on the cliffside, Kipina Monastery has outlasted empires, wars, and time itself. A fragile miracle of human hands and unshakable faith. We still had a long drive ahead of us, along bumpy mountain roads and countless more switchbacks, winding our way back out of the Tzoumerka Mountains towards our next destination. The postcard-perfect seaside town of Parga on the Ionian Sea, which you can discover together with us in our next episode.